So you think a rape victim should be forced to go through a pregnancy? They didn't cause themselves into that circumstance.
That can depend on the situation.
Why do you support Trump?
Personally, I support him because of his abortion laws.
Okay, such as?
So I've only just got into politics, so I'm not really 100% on everything that it is. But definitely the fact of, like, so it doesn't explicitly mean, like, it doesn't specifically mention abortion. So many people argue that states, not federal courts, should set the abortion policy through elected representatives. And, like, just the protection of an unborn life, because if you have a fetus, it has more moral value or personhood, and then the government has legitimate interest in protecting it, especially later on in pregnancies. And also, like, it shouldn't be used, because many women will, like, use it as contraception.
What state do you live in?
What state?
Yeah.
Colorado.
What time is it?
It is currently...
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, what time is it?
12:03.
Okay, can you name 3 states that border Colorado?
Wyoming, Utah, New Mexico.
Can you name 3 cities in Colorado?
Boulder, Denver, Fort Collins.
Okay, for sure. All right, continue. So you think
so,
women
like,
are using abortion as contraceptives?
Yeah, I think some women do.
Okay, so if you think women are using abortion as contraceptives, that's a really expensive form of contraceptive.
Yeah, I mean,
Don't you
sure
think?
it is, but, like, some people, like, that's just how they work with it or something. Like,
Really?
I
So,
can't
so
really
like
do it.
very rich people. So you're mad at rich people.
Yeah, they're entitled.
Okay, so you're not mad at everyone. You're mad at rich people.
I think abortion should be allowed if it's, like, in a matter that the woman's life would be in danger, or, like, extreme circumstances, or, like, literally if the woman cannot afford to both raise her, like,
So,
herself
like, for
and her
example,
child.
if my girlfriend gets pregnant and we just don't want to have a kid yet, and she wants to get an abortion and I pay for it, should I go to jail?
I personally believe, I don't say go to jail, but I think something should be done about it, because you guys would have made the decision to have unprotected sex, and then you knew the consequences.
Why are you
could be
assuming no
possibly
contraceptive use?
Okay, so if contraception was used, or however you did it, like, there's still always that thing that you always, like, need to be careful of.
Okay, so
like, it is always a possibility anyway, so I think
so why should she be forced to go through a pregnancy simply just because it's a possibility that she could get pregnant from intercourse?
Because you've gone through the whole process and you've decided that you guys are going to have intercourse.
So
there's always the opportunity or the chance that you're going to get pregnant.
So
This is why the abortion should, like, not be legal all the time. Only
no,
in
that's
cases
not a
where
reason
it's
as to why it's morally valuable. It's just a reason as to why you're saying that, like...
It's a human life that you're getting rid of.
Do you think that just because there's a possibility of something happening from an action that you engage in, that means you're obligated or morally responsible for that action?
Yeah.
Okay. So, for example, if someone goes to a party knowing that at a party they could be do you think that that means that they're responsible for themselves getting a...
Well, it depends on the situation of that, because if
It depends on the situation. I don't think anyone's responsible for them getting a... I think the person who's responsible...
No,
I think the person who's responsible is the person who's assaulting them.
It depends on the situation, because if you think about it, right? If you go to a party and then you go and get drunk, or you go and do this, you've always got the possibility of something happening because you're not 100% there and you're intoxicated.
So do you think someone is morally responsible for being a... if they drank at a party?
I wouldn't say morally responsible, but there is some responsibility there.
Honestly, that's disgusting. No, someone is not responsible for getting a... just because they got drunk at a party. You're sick for saying that. What are you talking about?
Okay, well, you guys support...
Like, seriously, what the is wrong with you?
You guys support abortion. That's taking away human life.
You're being ridiculous, okay? A zygote is not comparable to a person being a... okay? A zygote's a single-cell organism. No one actually thinks that that's comparable, okay? Genuinely, for a second, can you just acknowledge that that's up? That's fucked up to say that someone is responsible for being a... just because they drank at a party?
Yeah, but you should always be careful with drinking at parties, because people take it too far.
Wait. Saying be careful is different from saying you are morally responsible.
Okay, but I didn't say that you're morally responsible. I said you have some responsibility, not moral responsibility.
No. No one has responsibility for being a... They had they were violated. They had their autonomy stripped from them. They're not responsible for that.
You put yourself in that situation for it to happen.
So do you think someone in that situation should be forced to go through a pregnancy?
Yeah.
So you think a rape victim should be forced to go through a pregnancy? They didn't cause themselves into that circumstance.
That can depend on the situation. I think if it's if it's a person that's been raped by someone that they don't know or someone that they do know, like an ex-boyfriend or something like that, then possibly yeah, because you know that person. But
Why
if it's
just
like a family
possibly?
member,
Do
well,
you,
I don't
do
know.
you think that they have to clarify who they were assaulted by in order to be able to get access to the abortion?
Yeah.
Okay, so you think someone should have to specifically go through all of the legal proceedings just to be able to get access to an abortion? What about all the victims who don't go through that process?
Well, I don't know.
Just like they're forced to go through pregnancy then?
Well, yeah.
Oh, okay, so you're totally okay with assault victims being forced to go through pregnancy under your system?
If right, okay, wait, hold on. If they don't, like, if it's not gonna cause damage to their life, or it's not gonna, like, make them completely broke the baby's life and theirs would be in, like, jeopardy
Okay.
when they're born.
Okay, so if a
Then-
10-year-old were to be able to be medically okay going through a pregnancy, you think that they should be forced to go through a pregnancy?
So, okay. I agree. Okay, I didn't say this at the start. I agree with Trump's abortion laws, but the one thing that I don't agree with is the fact that it would be for everyone. I do genuinely think, like, you have to be an adult for it to, like, work, if that makes sense. I don't know if that
What do
makes
you
sense.
mean for what to work?
For, like, no, so I think if you get pregnant and you're, like, 12 years old, you should have the medical freedom to go and get an abortion.
Okay.
But if you're
So then
over 21,
so if someone's 21 years
18.
old, then if they get a then they're forced to go through the pregnancy. But if they're 20 years old and they're not forced to go through the pregnancy,
yeah.
do you realize how ridiculous that is? 1 year difference. Literally. If it happens on their birthday, their 21st birthday, you believe that should be applicable, but if it happened the day prior, you would say no.
Yeah.
Do you realize how ridiculous that is?
Or even if it's so,
Like, it could be
the
the
day
difference of an
The
hour.
day prior for their birthday, that's a little bit different because of the fact that, like, you could. Not many people find out that they're pregnant until, like, 2 or 3 weeks later, or, like, a couple months, or I don't know how long it takes. Personally, I've never been in that situation, but if they know before they've turned 21, then I do think that that is an issue.
So if they know so if they were before they're 21, then they get the abortion, but after 21 they don't get the abortion. So wouldn't they just have the incentive to just tell you that they were when they were 20?
Yeah.
Okay. So then you're giving victims an incentive to lie about when it happened in order for them to be able to get justice and for them to be able to get access to an abortion. I think that's sick. I think that's disgusting.
I think, okay,
that you're forcing
so
people into those
something
conditions
that
where
I
they
think
would
should
even have to
happen for
consider that.
kind of thing.
I think that
Something I
people
think
who are
they should-
21 plus, I think that they should be able to get access to an abortion if they're assaulted. I think it's absurd to say that anyone who has been assaulted shouldn't be able to get access to an abortion. Now let me ask you the specific question. Do you think that if someone required your bodily resources to live, even if they were going to die if they didn't get access to your resources, do you think you're legally obligated to give your resources up to them?
Would you mean, like, organs or something?
Yeah. A kidney, for example.
Okay, only if you're a kidney donor.
Okay, but you're not. Are you forced? Are you legally obligated? Because say I relied on your kidney to survive. Should you be legally obligated to give up your kidney to me, even if it led to my, specifically if it led to my death, if you didn't give up your kidney to me?
I think that should only be for, like, if I was a registered organ donor, then yeah, sure. Like, if it was me-
But like, I need your kidney to survive. I'm going to die if I don't get your kidney. Remember, you believe people should just like give up their bodily resources, be forced to give up their bodily resources if it would lead to the death of the entity they don't give up their bodily resources to, right? Simply just because that person is going to die if they don't get those resources. It's not because of a causal obligation or because they cause these scenarios into effect. You think anyone above the age of 21, right, simply will just have that obligation or responsibility simply for being above the age of 21.
Okay, so something else that I believe that should be put in is, like, for abortion and that, like, not that it should go to court, but, like, if you are, like, definite that you need it and, like, it must happen, then you should, like, make the application for it and, like, actually have a valid argument behind it, not just be like, oh, I want an abortion because I don't want this kid. You've put yourself in that
But
situation.
like, what
to
you're
get
doing is you're
yourself
restricting
pregnant.
people in situations in which they need it from being able to get access to it, especially if they don't want to put that information on a certain thing like that, or they want to log that information by law. They have to submit an application to be able to get access to an abortion. Do you realize how ridiculous that is? So again, you're not answering my
but how
question though. Like,
ridiculous is it
I asked you a
killing an
question like,
unborn
should you?
child?
So why shouldn't you be legally obligated to give up your kidney to me if I rely on it in order to survive?
Because that is my choice to give up something of mine because I'm still alive.
Oh, your
I'm
choice?
still alive. The same.
Oh, your
The
choice?
same as
Oh, okay. So you believe in autonomy over your body, even if it will lead to the death of the individual in which relies upon your resources?
no. So
Oh,
I personally believe that if I was not an organ donor, or I was not like, okay, I wasn't an organ donor, that is not my responsibility because it's my choice to go and put myself as an organ donor. With pregnancy, it's your choice to go and put yourself
yeah.
as.
You're not answering though. Like, again, I brought up scenarios specifically of people who are. You said people above the age of 21, if they were, they should be forced to go through pregnancy. They didn't cause those conditions. They were. You still said they had an obligation to maintain the pregnancy because if they don't maintain the pregnancy, it will lead to the death of the embryo. Okay? So then your
Okay,
whole
so if you've
argument
been
here
if you've been
falls right on
assaulted
its
and
ass.
you know that there's something that's happened that you could possibly be pregnant from, go and get a plan B.
So again, say it doesn't work.
If it doesn't work, then unfortunately you have to have that child.
Okay, so you're forced to go through the pregnancy.
Yeah.
So again, even so then like the basis here would then be, should you have to give up your kidney?
No, because I've just said it's my choice to become an organ donor.
Again, you're not listening, right? You are simply saying that it's your autonomy and you should not be legally obligated when it comes to giving up a kidney to someone if they rely on your kidney to survive. But apparently if someone becomes pregnant, not due to their own will, because it was forced upon them, you believe that they should be forced to go through that pregnancy. Do you realize that you're contradicting yourself there? In one scenario, you're saying that there should be a moral obligation to uphold the pregnancy, or to give up not pregnancy, to hold up to uphold the pregnancy, that is true, and give up your bodily resources for 9 months, incur all the psychological costs, all the physiological costs, all the financial costs, right, associated with pregnancy in the very first place, right, for 9 months. But specifically, someone should not be legally obligated to give up a kidney, which is a lesser obligation.
Okay, you're trying to say I have to give up my kidney to save your life
Yes.
because your life depends on me.
Yes.
That baby's
And you're
life
over 21,
depends
so
on
right?
the woman that's womb it's inside.
And you're over 21, correct?
No, I just said I'm 19 like 10 minutes ago.
So when you are over 21, then you would have the obligation?
Yeah.
So you'd be legally obligated to give me your kidney, under your view.
No, because I wouldn't be registered as an organ donor.
Oh, so it's your choice. So you're not legally obligated.
Not legally, no.
Oh, okay. So if you're not legally obligated, right, then explain to me why someone should be legally obligated to give up their bodily resources through pregnancy.
Because that is a baby that cannot fight for itself.
Yeah.
It is relying on the mother to give its life.
I
and
won't
give
be
its
able to live
nutrients.
if you don't give me your kidney.
The baby's not going to be able to live if you freaking abort it.
Exactly. Thank you for showing that the analogy makes sense.
Yeah, so this is why abortion should not be legal. You're trying to tell me that I need to give you your kidney.
No, you need
so
to
that
give
you
me
can
your
live.
kidney so that I can live, yes.
That baby needs the mother to live.
Yeah, and I need your kidney to live.
Okay, so you can have my kidney, whatever. If that means that the mother gets to keep his child.
You think you should be legally obligated to give me your kidney?
Not legally. If it's my choice,
Okay,
yeah, sure.
okay, so it's your choice. So again, if it's based on your choice, then it's not going to be a legal obligation. So why should someone be legally obligated to go through a pregnancy and give up their bodily resources?
Because that's a life that doesn't have anything to say. You cannot literally talk to a fetus and say to it, oh, blah, 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 like, do you want to live or not? Like, if we abort you, you're not going to live.
If anything, that's
Whereas
a
with
reason
you, I
why
can
it would
come up
then
to
be
you and
more
I can say to
justified.
you,
What's the
if I don't
argument?
give you my kidney, if
What
I
is
don't
the
give my
this
liver-
doesn't make, can you, what? I'm confused what the argument is. Let's say you couldn't talk to me. Let's say that I couldn't talk.
If I can talk to you, you have someone that's you've designated to take care of your health and to prioritize.
Yeah, you're the
what
only
they think is
person
best
in
for
the
you.
on the planet that matches to give me a kidney.
Well, for you personally, I wouldn't give you one.
So you would commit murder under your view?
When I say I'm committing murder.
Because you're not giving me your bodily resources when I need them to survive, right? That's murder under your
the
view,
baby
right?
needs the mother's. The baby needs the mother's like humanly resources.
Yeah, so if you
to
cut
survive.
off those humanly resources, is it murder?
From me?
I didn't specify. I'm asking if you cut off resources and it leads to the death of the other entity, is it wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. So why isn't it wrong if you don't give me resources?
I'm so confused right now.
Okay, in this scenario, the hypothetical I'm bringing up, I rely on your kidney to survive. Okay?
Okay, the baby relies on the mother to survive.
Exactly. That's what I'm comparing. The only person that can fulfill that obligation is the pregnant person. The only person that can fulfill the obligation is you. That's what I'm comparing in this scenario. Should you be legally obligated to give me a kidney if you're the only person that can take care of that obligation, meaning no one else's kidney will work.
Oh, in that case, yeah. If I'm the only person in the world, if I've got like rarest blood type, you've got rarest blood type in the whole world, we're the last two people, yeah.
No, it's not that we're the last two people, it's that no one else matches.
Yeah, then yeah, sure.
Okay, so you think you'd be legally obligated to give me a kidney?
Yeah, because it's your life on the line.
You'd be okay with the government forcing you down and taking a kidney from your body to give it to me against your will?
Yeah. If it's saving your life, yeah.
Okay, all right. That's actually the first time I've ever heard someone respond that way. Interesting. And I guess I'll run a different argument on you. That's a pretty crazy take there, that you should be forced to give up your kidney to me. That's like pretty nuts. But let's just
I mean, it's saving a human life.
So then, would you say you vote for who saves the most human lives? So like, if I could prove to you that if you voted for Democrats, it would save more innocent human lives, would you vote for the Democrats?
I mean, if you could change my mind that much, possibly.
Okay. So did you know that according to a Lancet study, because of the cuts that Doge made through the Trump administration's use of Doge, they cut USAID, which will lead to 14 million deaths by 2030, according to that Lancet study.
Did not know that, no. Like I said at the start, I'm very new into politics.
Okay. So based upon that argument, would you say that then you would support Democrats because they would save millions of more human lives?
It depends on what their policies are.
Okay. I'm confused. Why? Like, what?
Because, like, if they have policies, so, like,
I just said, you just said you would vote for which one saved the most lives, right? I'm asking you, if the Democrats would save more lives than the Republicans, if you were to vote for them, would you then support the Democrats?
They're still killing unborn lives.
They're still killing unborn lives?
If they're allowing abortion, they're killing unborn lives.
Okay. What did you bring that up for? You're not addressing my point. The point is that you'll save more lives, more innocent lives, if you vote for Democrats. You know that there's still legal abortion under Trump's.
So you don't think
there's still legal abortion under Trump's administration. It's just depending on the state.
I said that at the start.
You said what? Say it one more time.
At the start. I said at the start about state by state laws create unequal access. So it depends on where someone lives to get an abortion.
It depends on where someone lives to get an abortion. Yes, it's up to the state. So Trump still believes in legal access to abortion depending on the states. So your whole argument here doesn't make sense. Now let's assume every single abortion would be stopped if Trump were put in office. You still would save more lives if you voted for the Democrats. Even if you considered every single abortion would stop, you'd still would vote for Democrats. But that's not even true. And also, so if you want to look at the amount of abortions that have happened, we've actually seen an increase in the amount of abortions that have happened since the overturning of Roe versus Wade. What are your thoughts on that?
Can you repeat that? Sorry, I wasn't really listening.
We've actually seen an increase in the amount of abortions that have happened since the overturning of Roe versus Wade.
Really?
Yes.
Oh. That's kind of awkward.
Mm-hmm. So given that you know that now, do you still support Trump?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Okay, it's weird. 10 minutes ago, yeah, I was fully for Trump, but now, like, my mind is changing a tiny bit from what you've told me.
Okay, so, like, if the election were held today, Harris versus Trump, who would you rather vote for?
At the moment, I would still vote for Trump because I know nothing about...
But I just told you, you would save more human lives if you voted for Harris. Plus, again, more abortions have happened since the overturning of Roe versus Wade. So your whole argument that you want to save human lives isn't even happening.
Yeah, but, like, so Harris is, like, because obviously we've got Trump's policies on, like, immigration and that. What is Harris's take on that?
Sorry, say it one more time.
Immigration.
She wants to criminalize undocumented entry. She just wants to make the legal process go quicker.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of like the same as Trump's, but not exactly.
Not exactly. Yeah, because Trump is undermining constitutionally protected rights to a greater extent than you'd ever see from Democrats.
Okay. Maybe you've managed to, like, change my mind a little bit.
Alrighty. So, like, if the election were held today, Harris versus Trump, who would you rather vote for?
I'd have to wait a little bit to, like,